Imagine living in a world where every thought, every choice, even every emotion could be predicted by machines. That's the system, not just AI or technology, but the web of rules, algorithms, routines, and conditioning that shape your life.
But here's the twist. There's one thing the system will never control: your soul. And today, we're revealing why your soul will always outshine the system and how you can activate that power.
We're breaking this down into 6 powerful topics that take you from understanding the invisible conflict to practical ways of breaking free. And trust me, topic 4 is the turning point. Without it, you'll never see the full picture.
So, hit that like button if you believe your soul is more than just brain chemistry, and subscribe to the Quantum Soul so you don't miss what's coming.
Because by the end, you won't just know how the system works, you'll know exactly how to transcend it.
And the best part? The story we're about to share might just prove you've had the power all along.
So let's start with the invisible conflict, the one most people feel every day but rarely stop to name.
When we say the system, we're not just talking about artificial intelligence. It's the network of rules, algorithms, routines, and mental conditioning that decides what you see, how you think, and sometimes even how you feel.
It's the reason your social feed knows you're sad before you do. The reason your schedule feels like it runs you instead of you running it.
And here's where it gets tricky. The system isn't always an enemy. Sometimes it's helpful, even necessary. But when you let it decide your path, you slowly give away the part of you that's unpredictable, creative, and alive. That's the part we call the soul, and the system can't replicate it. It can simulate behavior, predict choices, maybe even mimic emotions, but it can't touch the spark that makes you, you.
Which brings us to the question, if the system is so good at influencing you, how do you know when you're acting from your soul and when you're just following the program? Hold on to that, because in the next part, we're going to define exactly what the soul is, both in spiritual terms and in a way science is only starting to explore.
Let's talk about the soul. In spiritual traditions, it's described as your eternal essence, the center of consciousness that exists beyond time and space.
Science, of course, doesn't usually call it a soul, but some emerging theories describe it as a non-local field of information and energy, something not confined to the brain.
And that's where the contrast with the system becomes crystal clear. The system is predictable. It runs on patterns, algorithms, and repetition.
The soul? Completely unpredictable. It's creative, expansive, and refuses to be reduced to data points. It's the difference between a machine composing a song and a human pouring their heart into one.
Which is exactly why the soul is the system's blind spot. No matter how advanced the tech gets, it can't calculate inspiration or love or the moment you decide to rewrite your own story.
And that's the opening the soul needs to do something extraordinary. Which brings us to a story, one where Darius J. Wright didn't just navigate the system, he broke its rules entirely.
Stay with us, because this is the moment in the journey where you'll see how trusting that deeper part of yourself can flip the whole game. Darius J. Wright tells a story about a moment when every logical path said, stop, and his intuition said, go.
It wasn't a reckless leap. It was a clear, undeniable pull from somewhere beyond the noise, beyond the rules. And when he followed it, the outcome wasn't just unexpected, it was impossible by the system standards.
You've probably felt it too. That impulse to take a risk everyone else warns you against, or to walk away from something that should make sense on paper.
And here's the thing, when you follow that voice, you're not just breaking the system's rules, you're stepping into a space the system can't even map.
This is the turning point. Topic 4. The moment you realize the soul doesn't just play the game differently, it's playing an entirely different game.
And if you want to start playing that way too, the next part is where we give you the tools. Simple, direct ways to activate the soul's power in a world that's built to distract you from it.
Let's get practical. Activating the power of your soul isn't about adding 100 new routines or climbing a mountain at sunrise to chant in 3 languages. It's about small, deliberate shifts that break the system's loops and make space for your inner voice to be heard.
First, silence and inner listening. Disconnect from the constant stream of external input. Even 5 minutes of stillness can reset your mental circuitry.
Second, spontaneous creativity. Do something unplanned without worrying about its usefulness. Creativity confuses the system because it thrives on predictability.
Third, contact with nature. Out there, the system's reach is weaker. The patterns are organic, not programmed, and that changes how your mind and body respond.
And finally, question your automatic patterns. The next time you act on autopilot, pause and ask, whose choice is this? Mine or the system's? Each of these isn't just a habit, it's a way of reprogramming the relationship between you and the system, so you're not just surviving inside it, you're bending it to serve you.
And in a moment, we're going to bring all of this together with a final truth about why the soul's real mission isn't to win against the system, but to transcend it entirely.
Darius J. Wright says the system is like a giant algorithm, always watching, always learning, always predicting. But the soul is the one thing it can't code for.
He tells this story about walking into a meeting where every data point said he was about to fail. The projections, the analytics, the experts, all of them agreed it's not going to work.
And yet, Darius had this pull, a deep, unshakable sense that the numbers were wrong. So he walked in and pitched something completely outside the plan. No slides, no spreadsheets. Just a story from the heart.
Within weeks, what was statistically impossible was not only possible, it became the project everyone else wanted to copy.
That's the thing about going beyond the algorithm. You stop asking, what's the most probable, and start asking, what's the most alive?
Darius says his process is simple, but not easy. First, he creates intentional silence. He disconnects from the feed, from the calendar, from the noise, until the only voice left is his own.
Then he plays. He'll paint with no plan, write without a topic, wander through nature without a destination. These moments confuse the system because they have no pattern to track.
And the most important part, he listens for what he calls the uninvited idea, that flash of inspiration that makes no sense but feels undeniable. The kind of thought that algorithms can't anticipate because it doesn't come from the past. It comes from somewhere deeper.
He compares it to walking down a road the system built and then suddenly seeing a door in the air that no one else notices. You open it, step through, and find a landscape the algorithm doesn't even know exists. That's how he breaks free, not by fighting the system head-on, but by stepping sideways into spaces it can't follow.
And he insists anyone can do it. You don't need special access or tech. You just need to value your inner signal over the system's programming.
Because in the end, the system's job is to predict you. The soul's job is to surprise it. And once you start living like that, you realize the most powerful algorithm in the universe isn't out there.
It's in here.
Here's the truth. The system is powerful, yes. It's efficient, persuasive, and everywhere. But your soul, it was never designed to compete with it.
Because the soul doesn't play to win inside the system's boundaries. It moves beyond them. It's like trying to beat a chess master by flipping the board and walking out into the open field.
When you stop seeing the system as a master and start treating it as a tool, everything changes. The rules stop feeling like walls and start becoming stepping stones.
And that's when your choices stop being predictable. That's when your creativity, your intuition, and your deeper purpose begin to lead, not your schedule, your feed, or your programming.
Which leaves you with one question. If you already have the power to transcend the system, what's stopping you from using it today? Now it's your turn. Think about a moment when you felt your soul leading you, beyond logic, beyond the plan. What did it feel like? Was it a quiet knowing, a sudden spark, a decision that made no sense but changed everything?
Write it in the comments. Share a story, a feeling, even just one sentence that captures that moment. You never know. Your words might be the exact inspiration someone else needs today.
And if this message spoke to you, give this video a like. It tells YouTube this conversation matters and helps more people find it.
Share it with someone you believe is ready to hear it. Someone who might just be standing at their own door in the air, waiting to step through.
And don't forget to subscribe to The Quantum Soul, so you're here for every next step on this journey.
Right now, you'll see 2 videos on your screen. Pick one, keep going, and let the journey pull you further.
Because in a world built to predict your every move, the most radical thing you can do is move from your soul.
And if you're ready to take that next step, we've got a journey waiting for you.
Click the video on your screen now. It's the next part of this conversation, and it'll show you how to live with the system as your servant, never your master.
Because the soul's true power isn't in resisting control, it's in creating a life the system could never predict.